4961. I'm born and raised in Hawaii, of Hawaiian descent, a graduate of the public school system, and I testify before you in full support of SB1 as a proud gay man. But I wasn't always so proud. You see, growing up, sexual orientation wasn't taught, and I was always ashamed of who I was. This was only exacerbated by the fact that tolerance was also not promoted within school. Years of struggling led to realize that being gay is not a choice. I mean, if God, and yes, I believe in God, if God gave me a choice to opt for a difficult or easy life, do you think I would have chosen to be gay? No. Yet it's a part of me that I've come to find I cannot change, a part of me that took years for me to accept, and even in the face of adversity that exists right outside of these doors, something that I will continue to be proud of, because it's who I am. It's like one philosopher put, "Baby, I was born this way." Now, regarding public accommodation, I feel that SB1 gives religious organizations the proper exemptions. Business owners, however, must choose to evolve. In recent history, Chick-fil-A and Barilla Pasta received scrutiny for being anti-gay, and the LGBT community answered in a boycott. The community, we know who, in the community, we know who to support, and as a gay man, I know how to spend my money. So do many of my friends who would come to Hawaii and like to get married. So small business owners in the state of Hawaii should be reminded that maintaining a business in this economic climate and turning away particular demographic of people born a certain way is not only bad business, but it's also discriminatory. So over the past week, we've seen a majority of viewpoints and values expressed in this room in opposition of SB1. I'd just like to note that those voices are not necessarily congruent to the majority of the public outside. So to the argument that the people should decide, in effect, the people have already decided. They've decided to elect you to be our leaders of a progressive society. Please vote in favor of this bill and stand on the right side of history. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Aloha, Chair and House of Representatives. My name is Patricia Mina, and I am number 4951. I'm a mother of 5, and I represent myself and my family. I'm a registered voter from the Kapolei District region. I have lived here for 30-plus years with the spirit of aloha. Please let it go on record that I oppose the SB1 bill, the Hawaii Marriage Equality Act of 2013. It is my opinion the SB1 bill is too vague, and it deprives the citizens of their rights to due process. SB1 is not clear on what conduct is prohibited or what punishment may be imposed by a law. In addition, the phrase parties was used to replace the phrase man and woman. The word parties can mean more than two people. I believe this topic is very important. It needs to be clear, specific, and void of any vagueness. In reading the SB1 bill, I feel there needs to be more time to fully understand the outcome and ramifications of it. I'm not convinced that my freedom of religion, beliefs, or practices will remain intact, especially when I read that 12 states with the marriage equality on October 25, 2013 filed a brief urging the United States Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals to strike down gay marriages ban in Hawaii and Nevada. I believe the state of Hawaii has already voted twice to reserve marriage to opposite-sex couples, and they chose to preserve the traditions of marriage as unique social institution. And on August 8, 2012, the senior U.S. District Judge Alan Kay stated, Hawaii's current marriage laws are not unconstitutional. Please don't get me wrong. I am for equality, and I have friends and a very close family members who are engaged in the homosexual lifestyle. Nonetheless, can there be another way to make equal rights happen? To me, it appears that our U.S. freedom government is the barrier to their benefits and their rights, not Hawaii's amended constitution. I humbly ask that you let the people of Hawaii vote through a constitutional amendment and vote no to SB1. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks very much. Next, please. Senator Nakata.
Chair Luke and Rhodes, thank you for this opportunity, and thank you, committee members, for opening yourselves up to such a
I'm sorry, Senator. Can you tell us your number?
Oh, 4868.
Thank you.
Sorry. This is a highly contentious issue, and I have done something very simple to make up my mind about this. My mind was made up a long time ago. Let me be clear, I'm associated with many groups. I'm speaking for myself today. The simple criteria for me is whether homosexuality is a choice or not. And the clear answer I have is that it is not a choice. It is God who made us as we are. No one else. The choice was made for us. Who would choose to be persecuted as our gay brothers and sisters are? The persecution is tremendous, driving some people to suicide. Having such persons disowned by their families. So I do not believe that anyone actually chooses that as a lifestyle. It is something that I think most of them would change if they could. But God has made them that way, as God made most of us as heterosexuals. And we enjoy the privilege of marriage and family life. We extol it. We talk about the joy of having a family, children, grandchildren, aunts, uncles, whatever. Why would we deny that right to a people who are hungering for that and want that right?
Thank you very much, Reverend. Appreciate it. Next, please.
John Rocco, 4877, opposed, Y&I. After traumatic brain injury, I was being ostracized from my PhD program, needing to file federal disability complaint when I could barely speak. Music became my language. Piano, my 14-year therapy, led to recent contracts at Schofield and Pearl Harbor chapels for Christmas and Easter. But contracts ended, focus interfered with playing during Catholic Mass. Now I advertise on Gig Salad as Johnny Rock Piano for events including wedding cocktail hours. If SB1 passes, I will be sued. Not once but twice. My private practice in counseling includes therapy for those wanting marriage. The happy econ professor may not be interested in my case. No lost money. The man ostracized from his family for homosexuality may feel my case a bit sad, but all for a better cause. But they are advocates. They are not supposed to look at the big picture of what is right and what is wrong. Historically, ostracized Catholics found refuge in Waianae, where I am from. But if SB1 passes, I have nowhere to hide. I will be butchered with lawsuits beginning November 18th, 2013. My family had an inquisitor during the Spanish Inquisition 400 years ago, Juan Rocco de Campofrio, my namesake. What he did was protest to the King Philip II of Spain, the purity of blood statutes, which opened those of Jewish and Muslim descent to incessant litigation. If SB1 passes, a spectrum of Christians, Jews, and Muslims will be open to incessant litigation. It is almost as if it was an equality inquisition for those now ostracized because of their religious beliefs in these United States, which were founded on religious freedom. My family's been Catholic for 400 years. That won't change, I think, in the next 400.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Thank you for allowing me these 2 precious minutes. My name is Karen Russ. I'm a mother, grandmother, and pastor. Grew up in Kailua, live in Hawaii Kai. My number is 4928. I am opposed to this bill, as it is written, regarding religious and parental protections. We have listened to endless testimonies of people sharing their hearts. Same-sex couples want their love recognized and to receive benefits for marriage. And the religious community wants marriage reserved between a man and a woman. As a pastor, I do a lot of weddings. And when civil unions was put in place, the Department of Health did something brilliant. They required a separate license in order to perform civil unions. Faith-based pastors simply didn't apply for it. And it was never an issue of discrimination because we weren't licensed to perform them. They expected a big rush on civil unions, but what happened was that the gay community didn't really reach to straight companies demanding that they do a gay ceremony. They reached to companies that offered gay ceremonies, or they created their own that met their needs. We need a solid solution that would protect both sides. And why can't we have two licenses? A religious marriage license for faith-based couples and a civil marriage license for same-sex couples. We already have civil and religious marriage. I am not licensed to do civil marriages. Keep religious marriage between a man and a woman and allow civil marriages reserved for same-sex couples. The benefits would be exactly the same, but the faith-based community would be able to keep the sanctity of marriage, and same-sex couples would have the rights they so dearly desire. If a church wanted to do same-sex marriages, they could. If they didn't, they wouldn't have to. This is a compromise. So,
thank you very much. Next, please.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Aloha. Hello. My name is Leanne Lum, and my number is 4782. I've been a lifelong resident of Honolulu for over 40 years and an informed registered voter in District 18. We all can agree that last week was filled with a lot of emotion. People from both sides are very passionate about their positions. I really hope all of you are hearing us and our testimonies are not falling upon deaf ears. People have traveled from neighbor islands to be here. Shame on those legislators falling asleep or writing arrogant Facebook posts talking stink about testifiers. I was originally going to elaborate on how marriage is a covenant between one man and one woman, how this bill will tremendously affect the people of Hawaii and future generations, and how this bill is infringing upon my personal rights and beliefs. But you heard all of that already. I do strongly oppose SB1, but I wanted to say to you as legislators that you need to get feedback from your constituents to come up with a common sense solution to make both sides happy. We need to work together to come up with reasonable answers. Forcing SB1 on everyone creates division in Hawaii's ohana and stirs up a lot of unnecessary controversy and hostility. It's very unhealthy. I don't think traditional marriage supporters are against giving gays their civil rights. The problem we have is that SB1 redefines the word marriage and will change the way we do things, like how and what we teach our children and how we run our businesses. SB1 opens up a Pandora's box of more controversy and ambiguity. This bill is not well written, nor well thought out, and needs to be killed. Please vote no to SB1 and let the people vote. Mahalo and God bless.
Thanks very much. Next, please.
Good morning. My name is Mark Bryant. My number is 4936, and I am in opposition to SB1. I'm in opposition of it because of the religious pretenses of it being a smack in the face to the people of God. I'm almost sure you've heard many testimonies over this session, over the course of this session, when people were saying and using the Lord's name. There's reason behind that. That is because it is a belief that we believe. There are many beliefs that sit in this circle right now. I believe that God is all-powerful. I believe that he's almighty and he's sovereign. And I believe that anything that is done against his will is a sin. I will also say this, that I'm down here today in opposition to SB1, and I will probably lose my job. But that's okay, because that's how much I really care about what's going on right now. That's how much involved I am, and that's how much involved some other people that are sitting here are, that I would go to the lengths of losing my job to stand here and say that I am in opposition to SB1. And if you pass this, that it would be a smack in the face to the people who actually maybe voted some of you in office. I have a 3-year-old son. My 3-year-old son, I teach him how to live a godly life, and I am teaching him how to fear and revere God. With this bill being passed, it will in fact contradict everything that I'm teaching my son. And what it will do is it will open his mind up to an alternative mindset. And to me, that is not okay. I do not like that. I don't stand here. I'm not going to dilly-dally and say that I kind of understand. I don't understand. I don't like it. I'm in opposition. I say kill the bill, kill the bill, kill the bill. Let the people decide. Let the people decide. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next up, please.
Aloha.
Well, no.
My number is 4629. My name is Yai Nyo, live in Kaimuki. I'm so thankful that I can stand here to oppose SB1. I was so touched by 3 Hawaiian ladies testifying last Friday. My tear was running down without stop when they were singing this song. How did you feel, my dear representatives? Do you hear the native Hawaii's voice? We all are foreigners except them. I'm so thankful to live in Hawaii with a special aloha spirit and a mixed culture. I'm a mother. Marriage is between one man and one woman because they are totally different. As a parents, we should be good examples of responsible, accountable people for future mom and dad. If our children do something wrong, we have to discipline. Discipline is a truly love, not hate, not discrimination. As a citizen, financially, I'm concerned about Hawaii. First, as you know, so many data show that higher risk of HIV/AIDS amongst the homosexual people. Our government will spend more and more money to take care of that when more and more cases come out. Second, nowadays, a lot of Asian countries people come to Hawaii for wedding, honeymoon, tour, school, investing, properties, business. My friends come too, but none of Asian countries have same-sex marriage. If this bill passed, will it affect them? In my opinion, yes. Because of their traditional culture, they may choose another place. So why do we need to rush? We're all in the same train. Where to go? You are our leader and driver. Please slow down to hear more people's voice and listen the native people vote. May Lord bless your heart, give you wisdom and courage to say no to SB1. Thank you. Mahalo.
Thanks very much. Next, please.
Aloha all. My name is Yiqing Xu. My number is 4838. My English now good. I please my friend to read. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what was the number?
4892. Her number is 4838. Yiqing Xu.
Okay, and you're translating for her?
For her. Yeah.
Okay.
She wanted me to read for her. It's okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to stand here against the SB1 because marriage between one man and a woman is God's will and our rights are given by Him. I was born in China. I come to America because of its democracy. The founders of America set up the Constitution by following a correct order that is God's will, human rights, and government authority. This order has given Americans' rights, made the nation strong, earned respect from people all over the world. The highest order is God's will and right. It is full of God's love, justice, mercy, forgiveness, guidance, and promises. This is the best for human beings. The second order is our human rights. Under God's will, we can claim for rights that benefit our society, respect others, and are blessed by God. We should not claim rights for self-fulfillment. Our government authority is a third order. It is elected by people and it should serve its people. The power of our government authority is given by God's grace and people's trust and support. I respect homosexual people and their supporters. I have heard their different stories based on the various background. I pray for them every day. God love you. God love me. God love everybody. As a sinner, we need to repent. Ask God for forgiveness, be away from wrongdoing. Our government has responsibility to guide people to making correct choices rather than push them in a direction away further from God's will. Thank you, mahalo.
Thank you very much. Next, please. Didn't know whether she spoke Mandarin or Cantonese.
Hi, my name is Kiana Weiss. My number is 4962. And I strongly oppose the SB1 bill. The reason I oppose this is because, for me, I'm Hawaiian. And I am proud to represent the Hawaiian people. But to see what people are saying against Hawaiians, to me, it's not only killing me, it's not only killing my family, but it's also disrespecting the kupunas and the people who was before us or before me. And right now it's just so hard for some Hawaiians to fight for what they believe in, because there's other people, I'm not gonna say who it is, like gay, lesbians, you are what you are. But my point is, let us stand up for what we believe in and what we fight for. And we'll allow you to fight what you believe in too. But don't take that right of voting or letting us decide, the Hawaiians of this land who live here, don't take that opportunity away from us. Don't take that opportunity away from me. Because I just turned 19 and I'm a new voter. And many of you might think, oh, she's just a new voter. She don't know what she stands for. She don't know what she's talking about. Well, you know what? I'm going to change that. Because I do know what I stand for. And I do know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to stand here and tell you guys straight up. No hiding, no holding back. Because this is what it is. This is what it comes down to. You want to hear the Hawaiians come out? You want to hear them? Here I am. I'm speaking. I'm speaking for what I believe in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please. Please proceed.
My number is 4964. I'm Raylene Kealoha. I object this bill for many reasons. The main issue in this bill for me is Section 572C. I was adopted by a Hawaiian family, and it took a year-long process to be adopted and have their nationalities on my birth certificate. And till today, I have to go to court to confirm that I am Hawaiian. It almost cost me my schooling. I'm first in my family to go to college and represent my Hawaiian name. But because I'm biologically Hawaiian, I got my scholarship. Section 572C gives preferential treatment to those that are of gay couples. Those children will get the right to say that they are Hawaiian, even if they're not. I have to go to court every single time. I have to fight for who I am every day. And I hear everybody of LGBT saying, I am who I am, and I am Hawaiian. I am who I am, and I have to fight. It's a disgrace. It's so frustrating because I am Hawaiian. I am of this land. I I take care of the Aina. It's so hurtful because it's not right. This whole process isn't right. We the people for the people of the land. Come on now.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
My name is Yi Jing. My number is 4865. I live in Kamuki. Aloha, everyone. I come here strongly oppose SB1 bill. All mothers love our children and are willing to do everything to protect our children. Then, however, when they do wrong things, we cannot allow them to do whatever they want. We need to teach them and guide them to a right path. I think this is true love. I worry about my children and their future. If this bill passed, they will be confused. Do you know that so many parents has broken heart and crying out for help when their children choose to be a guy? Why do our government encourage it? If at home you are not encourage your children become homosexual, please vote no SB1. If your hope and the wish of your children's future marriage is one man and one woman, then please vote no SB1. May God bless everyone and every family. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we take the next testifier, we're almost done with this group, so could we have the next group line up, please? Next.
Honorable chairs and representatives, I am Mr. Simon Lee. The number is 4861. I'm a Christian and a pastor. I believe it was God who created one man and one woman to form a family. It is because I respect God's original design, I say no to same-sex marriage. I hope you do too. If we violate God's plan, chaos will be inevitable. We all know that homosexual behavior plays a big role in spreading HIV and AIDS. Many studies have revealed that homosexual relationships are harmful in the upbringing of children. So some people support same-sex marriage. They believe that is a personal choice and a personal right. If we agree with this rationale and accept same-sex marriage, down the road we have to accept the marriage between father and daughter, mother and son. We have to accept polygamy. And it's also a personal choice and personal right. If we go for this direction, what will our society become? How can we raise our children in this kind of a society? It is because I care about the future of Hawaii, I say no in a same-sex marriage. I hope you do too. Some people support same-sex marriage because they respect the culture and the practice of the minority. We should care for all minorities, not only one minority. In the United States, there are many groups of minorities: Japanese, Filipino, Korean, Chinese, and Native Hawaiian. All these minorities do not accept homosexual behavior as a normal and healthy practice. It's because I respect the culture and practice of the minorities, I say no to the same-sex marriage. I hope you do too. According to the most recent survey through KITV, 83% of our citizens has indicated this bill should be decided by all the people of Hawaii, not by the lawmaker. If you are really representing the people of Hawaii, you should say no to this bill. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Aloha, chairs and committee members. My name is Jenny, and I'm number 4842. English is not my native language. I hope my speaking is not gibberish to you. but I'm a citizen of America and a resident of Honolulu. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my personal thoughts regarding this very controversial issue. I'm strongly opposed to SB1. Personally, I accept homosexual people because they're God's children too. They have the dignity bestowed to them by our Heavenly Father. For them, I feel great sympathy because some of them are struggling so much in it. But I definitely don't accept their homosexual behavior. Some people claim the homosexuality is a born nature. Even if it is true, it's one of our sinful natures without exception. These sinful natures should not be condoned and encouraged, just like we don't condone or encourage violence, adultery, and fraud. Not to mention, 2 men and 2 women are all natural. What they truly need is to get out of the bondage and obtain true freedom. Changing the definition of a marriage would change the morals of our society, which is the backbone of a safe and blessed society. Fear of God. It is a wisdom and prosperity warranty for Hawaii and America. If we let this bill pass, we open the doors for legalizing all natural relationship, and in the future, it would be hard to say committing incest will be against the law. Please consider our voices. Vote no to this bill, or let the people vote. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Good morning, Chairman, and members of the committee, Judiciary and Finance Committees. My name is Robert Matsumoto. My registration number is 4839. I'm an attorney in private practice, although for many years I've been involved in civil rights type issues. As a matter of fact, about 20 years ago, I had the opportunity to represent 8 legislators, one of whom is still sitting here, to try to intervene in a same-sex marriage lawsuit that I believe 3 gay couples were instituting against the state. And in that case, I had learned much about the issues of same-sex marriage. And let me start by saying that same-sex marriage is not a civil right. In fact, the late Dr. Martin Luther King would not support same-sex marriage as a, quote, civil right, unquote, nor would he endorse the new concept of, quote, marriage equality, unquote, as being espoused currently in this bill. And the reason I say this is because, well, he was in the Birmingham jail. He wrote a very remarkable letter from a Birmingham jail. He expounded on the difference between a just law and an unjust law when pondering over the issue on whether to advocate breaking some laws and obeying others as follows. I quote him, he says, "The answer lies in the fact that there are 2 types of laws, just and unjust. I would be the first to advocate obeying just laws, one that's not only a legal but a moral responsibility to obey just laws. Conversely, one has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. I would agree with St. Augustine. He's one of the great eminent Catholic theologians and philosopher, that an unjust law is no law at all." And further on, he expounded on the difference between the 2 just and unjust law as follows. A just law is a man-made code that squares with a moral law or the law of God. An unjust law is a code that is out of harmony with the moral law.
Next, please.
Pardon me?
Next, please.
Well, let me just finish.
I'm sorry. Everyone is getting 2 minutes. Thank you very much. Next, please.
Guess you don't want to hear the rest of it. I make you uncomfortable, huh?
Morning.
Aloha, Representatives. My name is Christina Jenkins, and I'm very proud to stand here today in support of this bill. I am born in Kaneohe.
Can you tell us your number, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm 4925.
Thank you.
I was born in Kaneohe, and I grew up in Kailua, where I live today. I got married last year to my husband. It was the best decision I've ever made. I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity in the state of Hawaii to love my husband and to care for him, to provide for each other in sickness and in health. Unfortunately, I feel that my marriage is less meaningful to me because my friends and family who are gay don't have the same opportunities that I have. I think that we may have a lot more in common in this room than we think. We share a culture in Hawaii. We share a set of values. We share a history together. And I also feel that we have a lot of differences. And what I love about living in Hawaii is that we embrace those differences and that we protect those who may not be able to stand up for themselves. We have a history in Hawaii of dealing with a lot of different diversity. My grandparents got married in the 40s. My grandma is Chinese Hawaiian and my grandfather is Caucasian. And a lot of people didn't think they should get married. But I'm glad that they did. And I think as I read this bill, it's about legal protections from the state of Hawaii for marriage. I think it protects religious freedoms. I believe it protects freedom of speech. I don't think marriage is the domain of any particular faith or culture. I don't think it takes away any rights. And I think this is a group of people who've been waiting a long time for this, and it's time. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next, please.
Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Teresa Kawamoto. My number is 4824. I've lived in Hawaii for 39 years. I have one husband that I've been married to for 36 years, and I have 2 daughters. I graduated from the University of Hawaii with a degree in English. And when my students ask me definitions of words, then I consult the dictionary. And I am here to testify to urge you to vote no on SB1 for 3 reasons. Number 1, there's not enough time to consider all the ramifications of this bill. What is the definition of ramifications? It means consequences, outgrowth, offshoot. How do we know what these will be? We look to the past and we look to other places that bills of this similar nature have been passed. And we consider what others have experienced as a result of legalizing same-sex marriage. Number 2, there's not enough time to consider the repercussions. This is a little bit different. It means a widespread, indirect, or unforeseen effect of an act, action, or event, like the impact or influence. Again, we need to consider what other states and countries have experienced after passing similar bills. Number 3, there's not enough time to consider the reaction of both sides. You've seen part of the reaction of both sides, but we need wordsmiths to construct a bill that will ensure all sides will be able to maintain their freedoms. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Good morning. My name is Crystal Crawley, and I am number 4963.
Thank you.
I stand here opposed to SB1. I am opposed to SB1 because as I've been here last week and today, all I hear from the supporters of SB1 is protection of family. I want equal rights as married couples. But by your own Act 267 signed on 6 July 2012, it makes same-sex and opposite-sex couples eligible for civil union recognition and provides that partners to a civil union shall have all the same rights, benefits, protections, and responsibilities under law as are granted to married couples in Hawaii. Secondly, I oppose it because what's going to happen to our children? Our keke are going to grow up and have to be forced to learn in the school system that homosexuality exists instead of learning that in the family. I, as a parent, think I should be able to address any sexuality issues with my child, not a teacher. The teacher doesn't know my child. That's not a teacher's responsibility. That's a parent's responsibility. And if you want to make humanity extinct, yes, go ahead and teach homosexuality in the school system, because that's what you're doing. You can't have a family in a homosexual relationship because it takes a man and a woman to create a child, and it takes a man and a woman to raise that same child. You can't have a family without a man and a woman. Two men don't have sperm and an egg. Two women don't have sperm and an egg. Put a man together with a woman, then you have a family. Until you have a family, stop asking for the same benefits of a family. I stand for families. I stand for what's godly. Vote no to SB1. Kill the bill. Kill it now or put it to a vote. Let the people decide,
Thanks
not
very much.
you.
Next, please.
Good morning. My name is Travis Knott. I'm number 4870. I've been here pretty much all of last week, Monday, most of Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so I'm happy to be able to speak today. I'm actually happy that we're here in front of you guys, elected officials, people who we elect to sift through the emotional kind of ignorance that we've heard in this past week. If anything, all this testimony I've heard really just tells me that a majority will never, ever vote to protect the rights of a minority. I actually think that Hawaii has a lot to say about marriage. We can't hardly go anywhere here in Hawaii without tripping over a wedding, whether you're in Waikiki or anywhere in the state, really. These are Christian weddings, Mormon weddings, Jewish weddings. There's all kinds of weddings that take place here. No one's going up to these people and demonstrating against an atheist wedding or anyone that comes here. There's no religion that can actually own marriage. There's no single religion that can own it. Some religions allow it and others don't. So it's not something that can be owned by a religion. And if someone has a religious wedding, that's great for them. But that doesn't mean they're all like that. The benefits that are given because of a marriage by the government regarding taxes and inheritance are not reasons to get married. They're actually protections for the family once it's formed. And this bill doesn't really create any gay unions. These are unions that already exist. What the bill does is protect families that are already existing. In my line of work, I work as a financial advisor. We actually have special training to help same-sex, it's called domestic partner planning, basically. You have to do extra planning for families that don't have the benefit of marriage just to get the same kind of protections that people do get from marriage. So it is real. The benefits are real. And I'm actually here to speak for those too afraid to come here to speak out of fear of retribution from their churches or
Thank
families.
you very much. Next, please.
Thank you.
Aloha kākou. My name is Lorraine Godfrey. I have number 4873. I'm a Keikio Ka'aina from Honolulu, born and raised in Kaka'ako with puka pants and bare feet. I'm Hawaiian. Our lifestyle has always been simple. This SB1 carries a lot of pilikia baggage, and you've heard plenty of reasons from thousands of people. I'm here today to oppose SB1. Thank you for your patience, and I do come in peace. My main objective to the bill is religious freedom, and the pilau stuff gonna come to our keiki. I wish we had more time to kuka talk story, but right now we hear name calling, bullying, pandering. Enough already. This is a serious matter, and I want to tell you a Hawaiian story to make my point. Here in Hawaii, since a long time ago, families of 3 or 4 generations lived in one house. That's true today. I lived with my parents and grandparents. The culture is like this. You sit around the kitchen table talking story or playing music, and often it's both. When time for go sleep, somebody got to clean the dishes off the table and wash them. But my grandma going to get mad and slap your face. On this table today, you get domestic partners, civil unions, and SB1. The SB1 plate no look so good and no taste so good. Some people will eat it okay, but some people no going because tastes funny kind. So the SB1 plate is going to sit on the table and spoil because it's no good to eat. November 4th comes, and somebody better clean the table. Brother, sister, you better clean the kitchen. Otherwise, grandma going to give you a slap. So the best way for clean the dishes is for throw away the rubbish food. Give them to the dogs. Wash the plate. Put the plate in the dish dryer and go sleep. Tomorrow, Grandma gonna give you a big hug because you cleaned up. Ladies and gentlemen, we gotta clean the kitchen. The SB1 plates stay spoiling and going rot. We gotta wash the dishes and get one clean plate tomorrow. What you think? Is your heart for all the people or just some of the people? Us Hawaiians have always accepted homosexuals in our families without same-sex marriage. Senate Bill 1 get plenty pukas for make trouble. Vote with Grandma, vote no.
Good evening. My name is Kyle McKinney. My designated number is 4698, and I'm testifying in strong support of SB1. Before I begin my testimony, I would like to thank the Chair, Vice Chair, and Committee for taking this time to hear my testimony. I would also like to thank the LGBT community along with the allies in support of marriage equality for fighting alongside me so that I can be here today. I'm a 17-year-old gay male attending Pro City High School where I'm the president of a Gay Straight Alliance Club. I'm also a board member of Hawaii's LGBT Youth Advisory Council and one of the youth leaders for Camp Create Wanohana. As a person in my position, I made it a priority to attend Hawaii's 20th annual Keki Caucus Youth Summit, where marriage equality was the greatest concern of both young and older. As a child of the state of Hawaii, I would like to address the offense I have taken after hearing many oppositions of this bill. Some of the opposers claim that they are against this bill because they care about the well-being of the youth. I said I'm offended because apparently I'm not considered part of the youth that these people care about. Because I'm gay, because we're lesbian or bisexual, we are not considered the youth that is important in their eyes. So I ask that you do not try to fool the people listening to your testimony and to clearly state that when you refer to the welfare of the children, that you really mean only the heterosexual youth population. Freedom of religion. Many opposers here today may say that by legalizing this bill, we would be violating their rights as religious and spiritual people to preach or worship their religion. Freedom of religion. As a child of religious influence who prayed and attended church but did not believe it is wrong to love whoever you love, my religious rights will not be taken away by passing this bill. By passing this bill, you will not be violating the separation of church and state, which indicates that no law can be passed in favor of any religion. By not passing this law, however, you will be violating our rights as human beings. In Thomas Jefferson's letter to Dr. Thomas Cooper in 1814, he states that Christianity neither is nor ever was a part of the common law. Therefore, under law, our rights are being taken away without justification. I stand in front of you today to ask you to restore these rights to me under the acknowledgement of law, so that I may marry the person I may love when I come of age. Because this is not something that I chose, but it's simply who I am, and I accept that. So why can't some of you? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, please.
Aloha kako. My name is Lorna Ishibashi. My number is 4872. I'm here to voice my strong opposition of SB1 and this special session. Thank you very much for listening to the many hours of testimony, both for and against SB1. Many have expressed their convictions with great passion, as it has had a huge impact on all the people of Hawaii. I also have grave concerns that the rights of different parties will be violated if SB1 is passed in its current form. Many have spoken of the aloha that Hawaii is known for, but it is not aloha, nor is it pono, to take away the rights of other groups while trying to uphold the rights of another group. That is what this bill will do if it is passed in its current form. While I have the conviction that marriage is instituted by God between a man and a woman, I know that everyone does not share that same conviction. Although we have different convictions and values by which we live, we can agree to disagree and respect each other's differences. It is very evident that this short special session does not give adequate time to properly look at all the ramifications that passing such a bill would have on different parties and on Hawaii as a whole for generations to come. I believe if you give this important matter more time, and if we all work together, it is possible for a win-win solution to be formed that will address the concerns of all who will be affected by such legislation. It does not have to be win-lose. I appeal to your inner voice of reason and wisdom, and I ask you to not turn a deaf ear to the voices of so many that you have been elected to serve and represent. I urge you to vote no on SB1. Please give this matter more time in a regular session to adequately think through the multitude of possible consequences, that you may ensure that any law that is created will be pono in all aspects. Thank you for your time and your service to the people of Hawaii.
Thank you so much. Next, please.
I'm Carol Kamai. My number is 4878. I strongly oppose SB1. I ask that you kill this bill. I am a Christian and I am Hawaiian. My take on this bill are the supporters are trying to push a bill through without the consideration of others. This is not just about marriage. This bill violates others at the expense of your happiness, you the supporters, even your own children. Supporters of this bill have not addressed the concerns regarding the changes in our school's curriculum regarding sex education and the gay lifestyle and the blatant disregard of the rights of parents to teach their child when and what regarding sex. We don't want anything mandated by the gay and lesbian community. We simply have a different value system. That should be respected. Your desire for happiness in a marriage appears to be more important than the raising of a child. The GLBTA will tell you how to raise your child as they did in Canada. It is appalling to me that you, as a parent, are okay with that. Your children are just as important to you as our children are to us. The people in Hawaii don't want this for our keiki. Supporters of this bill have not addressed the violation of the rights to the Hawaiians. This bill has the ability to allow someone with no Hawaiian blood to assume our bloodline. This is confirmed by Councilwoman Machado from OHA. This, too, is incomprehensible. You should have respect for the Hawaiian people. How can you let this happen? It appears the supporters' desire, again, to marry is more important than the rights of the Hawaiians. Why would you intentionally create an indifference of the people you want to live side by side with? For all of you pro-supporters, I ask you, can you really move through this bill with a clear conscience? It violates the people of Hawaii. And in addition, Abercrombie, you are one of the poorest examples.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Good morning. My verbal testimony is different from my written testimony, which I hope has been read. My name is Sue Felix. My number is 4844. The government is involved in marriage because its procreative nature perpetuates a family-based society, an inherent responsibility which serves the common good. Gender does matter. Same-sex marriage is not merely about the couples themselves, their feelings, happiness, benefits, or civil rights. Both the Hawaii and U.S. Supreme Courts have ruled that same-sex couples do not have a civil right to marry. Voting no on Senate Bill 1 would not be a matter of unjust discrimination. This bill removes equal rights. The very word liability in the bill demonstrates its coercive intent. Lawmakers, you've been giving compelling evidence that if this bill is passed, there will be attacks on the rights of individuals, parents, businesses, organizations, and faith-related groups. In every nation and state with same-sex marriage, schools are mandated by law, policy, or judicial decree to integrate gender equality and sexual orientation issues into their curriculums and operations. Because of same-sex marriage in California, my sister-in-law, who operates a small cake business from her home, no longer makes wedding cakes to avoid legal punishment. My brother leads his son's Boy Scout troop and is also worried about lawsuits and is considering starting up a different scouting group. I have more examples, but time doesn't allow. This bill is a declaration of war against our culture. Don't fix the bill. Scrap it. Please don't continue to portray our trust representatives. It's not your prerogative to impose new values and norms on our culture. Don't abuse your power. Let the people decide what their culture is to be. Thank you.
Very much. Next, please.
Chair, point of information.
Yes,
Chair, over here.
Ward.
Will there be an opportunity to ask questions? We've gone an hour, and pretty soon people will either be gone or we'll forget our questions.
Patience, good representative.
Usually we've gone less than an hour before we question.
The original hearing notice said approximately 25. It will be approximately 25.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Next, please.
My name is James Tate, number 4932. SB1 is used for silencing you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat your number? 4932. Thank you.
Okay, all we were asking for is a voice. Is it not arrogance to disregard the people who have voted for you? That is how the people will read it now and at election time if we are not given a voice through a vote. Wouldn't anyone feel the same way? Just for now, if you vote no, it's to let all of us decide together and also gives time for better research on the losses of everyone's freedoms, of U.S. freedoms of speech, of thought, of beliefs, whatever they may be. This is our key concern, the loss of not just Christian religious beliefs, but of everyone's freedom of belief to believe whatever they choose is actually bigger than religion and belief, but everyone, including your freedom of thought and then free speech and everything that proceeds from that. We all need the time to draft another bill to give gays. We also need the time to draft another bill to give gays the same federal benefits given to married couples. There are many concerns with this bill. We need to look at it together in the same manner, not in a mad rush. Who is pushing and rushing and strong-arming you? Be courageous to stand firm in your integrity and in truth. Stand up to any leadership using this method. We will support you as the giant once soft and sleepy is now awakening. Things that are good and true and noble need not be strong-armed. They will reveal themselves given sufficient time. Only fools rush in. Whenever anyone, anytime rushes you into a decision, when this is not necessary, there is an agenda on the side pressuring you, and that agenda is deception. In this case, do you think it's possible that there may be things you've missed researching? And that's all my time.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Aloha.
Oh, no.
My respectful representatives, pardon me, because my English is very poor. Okay.
I'm sorry, before you start.
My name is Philip Fong.
Okay.
And my number is
Thank you.
4837. I oppose SB1. Thank you for giving me a chance to voice out my thoughts here today. Many Chinese immigrants like myself, and many more of us, old and young, came to this country to seek a better life and to build our American dreams in this land of the free. Today, I stand in front of you to let me know that this same-sex marriage bill is destroy our family value. Please take the moment to remember your own father and mother. And then imagine the negative family value. You are impacting on our younger generation before you sign this bill. Majority citizens in Chinatown are against this bill. Please let democracy work and cast your vote. Representative.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think this is a good place to stop and take questions. Members, questions? Representative Ito.
Mr. Matsumoto. I have a question. What happened to Dr. King in the Birmingham jail?
Well, Obviously, he was released shortly thereafter, but then he continued on with his civil rights activities. And fortunately for America, and for especially the people of African American descent, they were accorded their freedoms. And that started with probably the most eminent civil rights activist in the 20th century, in my opinion, that's Dr. King. In essence, he said that any kind of laws that aren't just would run afoul of moral laws and a law of God. And in this case, he quoted two Catholic theologians who are definitely against any kind of same-sex relationship. And I have even some quotes from them, but I think it's not the appropriate time to state them. But certainly, if he were living today, he would not recognize same-sex marriage, in my opinion. I don't know if I answered your question or not.
Okay, what else you want to say on your testimony?
Well, I was going to say that even the Associate Justice Levinson, when he wrote his opinion some 20 years ago, and I'm familiar with this because, again, I was involved in the lawsuit, he said, and I quote from his decision in Berry versus Lewin, "We do not believe that a right to same-sex marriage is so rooted in the traditions," and this part I underline, "collective conscience of our people, that failure to recognize it would violate the fundamental principles of liberty and justice. Accordingly, we hold that same-sex couples do not have a fundamental constitutional right to same-sex marriage." That's when he was signing his opinion, and he was confronted with the question as to whether same-sex couples have a right under the due process law of the state constitution, and he emphatically stated no. If I may go one step further, in the dissenting opinion written by Judge Walter Heen, this is what he pointed out. He said, "This court should not manufacture a civil right which is unsupported by any precedent and whose legal incidence the entitlement of statutory benefits conferred upon unmarried persons through a certification system will reach beyond the right to enter into a legal marriage and overturn long-standing public policy encompassing other areas of public concern. This decision will have far-reaching and grave repercussions on the finances and policies of the governments and industry of this state."
Okay, Mr. Matsumoto.
Yes.
Representative Ito, one of the things that we had said earlier is after they testify, we cannot ask the testifier, "Oh, what else were you planning to say?" because that kind of undermines the whole 2-minute rule. So if we could keep to that, members and the audience and people waiting outside, we still have about 200 to 300 more people in this group, and then about 200 to 300 more people upstairs who are waiting to testify at this point in time. We're not going to finish today. We may not finish tomorrow, which is going to lengthen it even more. So we ask that, we do it as fast as we can, because there are people waiting to catch their flight in the overflow section, and we want to finish the 5,000 because we're going in the 4th day. Okay, with that, Representative Ito, if you...
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair, but, this is the second time I asked question in 3 days. Well, all the other guys was asking questions, So I hope you indulge.
Yeah.
I just want to ask Mr. Matsumoto to summarize.
Well, the upshot of it is that...
Audience members, I could ask you again, if you want to be disruptive, there are a lot of people who are wanting to sit in your seats right in here, so please refrain from being disruptive. Representative Ito, I think that's something that I said earlier, and so if you could respect my decision, and you can ask the person a question, but please refrain from saying, "What else were you planning to say?" Okay? So with that, please go ahead.
Can I say, Madam Chair, to summarize?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Well, why don't you just ask him what you were planning to ask?
Okay, why don't you summarize?
Okay, in summary, I believe this particular bill really should be left up to the people of Hawaii to decide. I'm talking about SB1, because there are so many repercussions. And for example, I don't see any representative of the Department of Education here, nor do I see anyone from Department of Commerce and Consumer Protection. Just as a start, there are a lot of repercussions that will affect the finances and the businesses of the state of Hawaii. So in that sense, perhaps because of the shortness of the session, this bill maybe even constitution may be flawed because of the lack of representation and the participation of the other committees. Let me just finish by saying that in Section 1 of the State of Hawaii, Article 1 Constitution states, all political power of the state is inherent in the people, and the responsibility for the exercise thereof rests with the people. All government is founded on this authority. So therefore, what I'm saying is that this bill should be left, and decision of the how marriage is defined should be left to the people of Hawaii. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? Representative Har.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There was a gentleman who was in the first group. I think he was 4877, John Rocco, the psychologist. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name. Good afternoon, sir. I'm sorry, your last name?
Rocco.
Rocco. Thank you very much for being here this morning and for testifying. I know we're already going into the afternoon. I just needed to understand something because it wasn't clear in your testimony. You had indicated that you're a psychologist and you feel that this bill will somehow allow you to be sued?
Yes, on 2 counts. The first is that I play piano and I advertise on Gig Salad, which is the website for performers, and the majority of calls I get are for wedding receptions, weddings, that type of thing. And I am Catholic. I don't believe in gay marriage from my religious standpoint. And so if someone called and placed a bid in through Gig Salad to me, and they said they were gay, and I said, I'm sorry, I can refer you to someone that does that, but I don't do that myself. From what I've seen happen in other states, such as the florist in Washington State, from my written testimony, I could be sued by that gay couple that would like a marriage ceremony with me playing piano. And so, yes, from that standpoint. The other standpoint is I am a counselor, and I at times I'll have couples. I really am an anger management counselor, but at times couples, married couples will want to have marital therapy, and I'll do it on a case-to-case basis depending if I think it's appropriate. But if it was a gay couple that wanted marriage therapy, because I advertise it on my website, premarital counseling, that type of thing. If a gay couple said, we're going to get married and we would like some premarital counseling, I would refer them. I've done that before. In fact, a year ago, someone called me for gender conversion therapy, and I referred them out. But in this case, if I said, I'm sorry, I don't do counseling for homosexual people that are married or would like premarital homosexual counseling, I say, I'm sorry, I don't do that, I'll refer you out, I would be sued because I'm discriminating with SB1. So those are the 2 counts that I'd be sued, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rock. I'm sorry, it just wasn't clear. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? Representative Lee.
Thank you, sir. I apologize, I missed your name, but I did have a question for you as well. What I'm hearing you say essentially is that everyone should have their religious freedom to not have their religious beliefs infringed.
So you just said everyone should have their religious freedom and not have their religious freedoms infringed.
Right.
I think that's a good statement that you said.
And so what you're saying is essentially you want to be able to choose not to serve those customers who you believe would infringe on your religious beliefs.
This is what I believe. I'll try to clarify as best as possible. And first, let me say that my mentor, when I was in University of Philippines, my professor, when I was becoming an actor in those days, he was gay. And he was an excellent mentor. And I worked with him, and so I've in my profession, before I was an actor, half the people are gay. So I've worked with many, many gay people. So I have no problem at all with their lifestyle. But in terms of religious freedoms, my belief, and I'm okay with everyone else's belief. I'm completely fine with people that feel that, they can have what they want to do. But my belief is that marriage is between a man and a woman. And to force me to play piano, well, first of all, I don't think they should want me to. If I don't want to play piano there, why should they want me to? But I think that my beliefs would be infringed if I'm still advertising to play for weddings, a gay couple calls me and says, will you play for a wedding? I'm sorry, I'll refer you to someone that's really good. No,
Sure,
we want
so-
you. I think would be infringing on my rights. Yes, I do.
And so I guess my question is, if I'm a business owner and my religion says I cannot serve Muslims because it would violate my religious beliefs, should I be able to discriminate against them and choose not to serve them?
I like that you use the word discriminate. I like that. And the reason why I like that is because that word, it can be used in negative ways, but it can be used in positive ways. If, for example, if someone called me, a homosexual couple, and said, we would really want you, we've seen your videos, and we think you'd be awesome for our wedding. And I said, thank you, but that I would feel so awkward there, because I'd feel so awkward that it's against my religion, my deep, and I consider being a priest at once. I'm saying I have deep religious convictions. Since I'd be so awkward there, I'd ask you to use, and I have like 3 names of guys that would love to play there. Could you please take them instead? You see, I'm respecting them very much because they'd love me to serve them, but I feel so awkward there, my performance wouldn't be very good. And if they just didn't sue me, that'd be great. But the problem is that from the experience of other states, we know that the lawsuit would happen.
So I understand. I think everybody's everybody wants to be nice about this, and nobody wants to go into a business and say, you must serve me because, and be.
But that is what happens.
Exactly. So under the law, if I'm a business owner and I want to be able to exclude those people and not serve them because they're Muslims, should I have that legal right?
I think, and Chris, I'm trying to work with this and explain this as best as possibly I can. I think, for example, and I'll give you a scenario that probably goes to the extremes and perhaps lends more light to it. Let's say that a Muslim, and let's say, for example, this is in a very, not Hawaii, a very chaotic area where Muslims and Jews don't get along a whole well, sometimes. Let's just say that. And let's say that just let me answer your question. Let's say that they called a Jewish business and said, we would like you to provide this particular dish at our Muslim ceremony. And if the Jewish business said, well, that's a great dish, but we can refer you to a Muslim group that would probably do a much better job of it, don't you think that would work out better for everybody?
So the catch is we're talking about here in Hawaii.
Okay, here in Hawaii.
Here in Hawaii.
Hold on. I think you folks...
can talk outside?
Yeah, because I don't know if this will be helpful in our decision making. So I think at this point in time, you should just agree to disagree, unless you have other additional questions.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Anybody else? Representative Thielen.
Testifier.
Okay.
There was someone here that said he was a financial planner, and if he is still here. Thank you. You testified as to some of the benefits that are not available. I understood you saying that you were doing financial planning or counseling with people in part of the civil unions. Could you tell me what benefits, if you know, are not available presently to partners in a civil union that would be available if they were able to marry?
Well, that is a great question that is actually up for debate. And in our field, we have teachings on it all the time because it has been so fluid since the repeal of DOMA. So my understanding is that there's the whole issue of domicile, the state that you actually live in, and if you are married in a state which does allow marriage, so let's say California, but you reside here, that the inheritance benefits that go along with for married couples, and this is for like 401ks and IRAs and those sorts of kind of tax sheltered holdings, I guess. From what we know, that you would be able to to share those if you were living here but married outside of the state.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think so. Okay, I may not have heard you. So there are tax benefits and other benefits under federal law that are not available presently, but if same-sex couples are able to be married, they would be available?
Sure. So when people get married, they have the benefits of inheriting each other's IRAs and 401ks and that sort of thing tax-free. So if two people in a household are working, they each have their own retirement savings. If one were to die, the other basically gets the benefit of, gets those monies without having to pay taxes on it. And the whole point of all these benefits is so that if something happens to a couple, a family, that, you know, they're not completely decimated if, you know, one of the partners dies, if one of the spouses were to pass away. So one of the benefits is the inheritance of these accounts that a family builds individually and together as part of the unit.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Representative Ward.
Thank you, Chair. Is number 4936 still here? The young man who said he may lose his job being here. Is he still here? Okay. That was never said by anybody. It's new testimony, but it's confusing and almost frightening. Is it so proprietary that you can't say your profession? And why do you think you'd lose your job? By the way, nobody, whether they're for or against this bill, should have any threat of such an event. No one. And your testimony was a bit of a tailspin for me, so could you explain a little bit more? Unless, of course, you work for the NSA, then you should go back and not even say anything.
If I work for the NSA, I wouldn't say. The reason why I said that, and I will not disclose the company in which I work for, but this is not my first day down here. In fact, this is going on my fourth day down. And each time that I come down, and I came down here, I missed a day of work. And to be honest with you, the people that I work with, they don't stand in agreement with the things that I stand in agreement with. Just put it out there in plain, I believe in God, and my boss doesn't. And so the rights and the things that I believe in, my boss doesn't. Neither does the proprietor. They don't. How can I word this? They don't stand by religious prefixes or anything like that. So yes, this is my. I was on probation. I was informed that I was on probation as of yesterday, and so therefore today, termination is evident. It's going to happen.
Okay, that's your private violation of an employment policy. But thank you for coming down here and being part of the community, putting a community ahead of your own employment. Thank you very much. Chair, I have one other question to another person.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you.
This is the young Hawaiian lady, 4962. 4962. She may not be here. I seeing none. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Anybody else? Representative Farr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can I please have 4928, Ms. Karen Rust, come up? Good morning, Ms. Rust. Excuse me, good afternoon. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
You said something that really did intrigue me, because I think a lot of people have brought up this issue of having two types of licenses or the state getting out of the business of marriage altogether. Now, you raised something about our civil unions law, about giving those faith-based organizations or pastors a separate ability. Can you explain that? Because I was not aware of this.
It's already in place. And it was put in place because the religious community was how marriage originated, and there became the fact that if you weren't religious, you would have to be married in a religious organization. So they created religious marriages and civil marriages. If you look at a marriage license, there's actually a place where you check the box and it says civil or religious. Now, we have separate licenses. So those pastors, those of us that are in the religious community, we are only licensed to do religious marriages. You'd have to go to a judge or something like that to do a civil marriage. When they put civil unions in place, basically anybody could do a civil union, whether you were religious or not, but it required a separate license. So if this was put in place, there would be a definition between the same-sex marriage on the civil side and the religious marriage on the other side. So if you were a vendor, you were a singer or something, you would just say, oh, I do religious marriages. And it wouldn't be discrimination.
So I'm trying to understand something, Ms. Russ. So you're telling me currently, right now, you are not required under law to perform a civil union because you were given an opportunity to have the separate license.
Right. And I can't do a civil marriage either.
Okay. So what you're essentially advocating for then is for those other people who are not necessarily clergy per se, but who may be involved in some type of wedding business, et cetera. You would propose then giving them that ability to have that license as well.
Right. So you would just decide, and it's a respect thing. I mean, if you polled the people in this room who was married civil and who was married religious, we all have the same rights because everybody's married. But you were still had the sanctity of a religious marriage or a civil marriage. The rights would be the same, but it wouldn't invade each other's. You know, if a church didn't want to do it, they just state, oh, I do religious. And they go, oh, okay. So it's not a violation of each other's rights.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Ms. Russ.
Thank you. Representative Kobayashi.
Hello. Could I ask a question of Reverend Bob Nakata? Could you help us sort out who is who amongst the churches? I believe you are a Methodist minister?
Yes, United Methodist.
And so I believe that there are some Methodist ministers and Methodist church members that are for and against. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How is the split? Even? Uneven? If you don't know, okay.
I don't really know.
What about Lutherans? I understand that there are a large number of Lutherans in support and some against.
You're asking me a question where I don't feel qualified to give you an answer on each denomination.
What about Episcopal church members?
Well, the Episcopalians in Hawaii just had a meeting and they seem to have said they support gay marriages, but that's the only one in Hawaii that I know of. There are individual churches that have said, and maybe it's the Unitarians who have, I don't know how many of those there are in Hawaii, but the First Unitarian has taken a position in support of gay marriages.
What about the United Church of Christ?
Representative, I do not feel comfortable answering this line of questioning because I don't have a factual basis on which to go except in specific instances.
Oh, I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel the same way because we've had various people from the various denominations, various religions come up to us, and I'm kind of reluctant to ask them too much about where they are in terms of the spectrum of their, shall we say, fellow church members.
Those are questions you need to address directly
to the
those
individual.
pastors.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Ward, what was that number again that you wanted? Is that
Hawaiian lady,
okay, no,
I believe it's
she's
4962.
back. Yeah, she's back now.
She's back.
I'm back.
Are you 4962?
Yes.
Okay, my question is, why do you feel that the Hawaiians are the more threatened by this bill than, say, another ethnic group?
Okay.
We heard from a lot of Chinese and et cetera, et cetera. Why do you think the Hawaiians are the more threatened?
Well, first of all, like I said in my testimony, we do live here. We were here. And majority of this land is Native Hawaiians, is Hawaiians. So the reason why I brought them up is because, you know, some Hawaiians weren't, they weren't able to come and voice their opinion or voice how they feel about this bill being passed. So I feel like, what do you call it? Basically just to let the people vote. Let the Hawaiian people vote. Let everybody vote. Because basically that's right. That's equal. Not just letting the government vote for the people. Because the people here put you guys where you are now. So truthfully, what I think is you should go back to the people because that's who each of you is representing. Every district, every state, everything. That's who you guys are representing. You're representing the people. And it's the people of Hawaii.
I don't think that quite addresses his question. I think his question is...
So what are you saying? Voice his question. Try and summarize his question or make it more understandable.
She doesn't understand your question, Representative Ward.
The question was the specificity of the Hawaiian group feeling the most threatened rather than, say, any other ethnic group, of which you know we are many, many ethnic groups. But you emphasized that that would be it seemed to be the impression that that would be the preeminent group that would be threatened by this. And I was just curious as to why you would say that. Or am I drawn a wrong conclusion? We can conclude right now.
She said yes.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Brower.
Yeah, thank you. Ironically, a vote against this bill could be a vote in favor of allowing the courts to decide. And if the people voted, and if your wishes came true with that popular vote, it doesn't mean that the courts may not take up this issue. They would be very likely to, and possibly overturn this vote. So in a lot of ways, the legislature could provide more protections to the churches, and it would be better to decide this issue during a special session. And personally, I think that you and I could agree, as much as I wouldn't, in closing sentence.
That's not a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you still want the people to vote?
Yes.
Okay,
and I
thank
stand
you.
on that, so.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Representative Carroll.
Chair, I have a question for another person.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is
call up the
there
person.
4964, Raylene Kealoha, still here? Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Or good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I missed your testifying. I came in a little late, but I understand that you had concerns in regards to proving your Native Hawaiian ancestry because you were adopted and you almost didn't receive a scholarship. If you can, and real specific but short, could you, in correlation to this bill, could you just state why your concern for Native Hawaiian entitlements is jeopardized?
Okay, so in the bill, it directly states that, I have the page 2 marked down, so if you want to look at it as well. It says, these rights, benefits, protections, and responsibilities shall include paternity, maternity, and percentage presumptions based on marriage. So say for a gay couple, if the husband that is white, Caucasian, surrogates with a Caucasian female, then the child will have the father's, the biological father's race on their birth certificate, and the non-biological father's race as well. So if that non-biological father is Hawaiian, that child will have Hawaiian, when not a single drop of their child's blood has Hawaiian in it.
Okay, so you feel that because the way the law is set up right now, it doesn't protect those children who are being adopted, who fall in a situation such as that.
Yes.
And therefore, that is why you're opposing.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Har.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kealoha. First of all, I want to say on behalf of both of the committees, we're very proud of you that you're the first person in your family to go to college. You should be very proud of yourself. Secondly, may I ask how old you are? Sorry, I'm not supposed to ask women that question, but may I ask you how old you are?
20 years old.
Okay, you're 20 years old. And so you really got very passionate. You started crying because you were talking about being adopted, and this was obviously something that's very sensitive for you. I'm just trying to understand. I'm following up on Representative Carroll's line of questioning. I mean, why is this so emotional for you, regarding this adoption issue?
Because people of Hawaii they want to aloha all people. And that's why I was able to get adopted, because this Hawaiian opened their arms to adopt me, a total stranger.
But your biological parents, do you know, were they Hawaiian? Did you have?
My father died when I was 4.
I'm sorry.
He was Hawaiian, yes.
Okay. Okay, so you are adopted, and you've gone through this court proceedings?
Yes. So because of when you go through an adoption series, they change your nationalities. But in the adoption papers, you're known to be adopted. And with Kamehameha schools, they check all your records. They have to go to court and open the seals on the records of what your biological nationalities are. And in this bill, it's preferential treatment for those of gay couples, those children of gay couples, because they're not, it doesn't state like they're not going to have Hawaiian if they're not born of a Hawaiian descent. It states that those that are of the marriage, they'll have those peoples.
Okay, so what you're concerned is because of everything you've been through, you feel personally that this section would be unfair and gives preferential treatment?
It is so unfair.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Ms. Kealoha. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anybody else? Otherwise, we wanted to thank the testifiers who testified. We will take the next set of testifiers. Okay, so if I could ask the audience members to settle down. We have somebody at the podium. Okay, thank you very much. Please state your name and number.
My name is Edna Pagdilao Armacos, and my number is 4827.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for serving in our state government and also for the opportunity to testify. I am a mother, a wife, and a daughter of immigrants, blessed to be born and raised in Hawaii. I am also an educator. With each of these titles I stated, there is a role of leadership responsibility. As a parent and a wife, it is my responsibility, along with my husband, to raise my kids to become responsible adults. Within our home, when decisions need to be made, we take the time needed to research the information and possible alternatives to make the best decision for the entire family. Each child may express a special interest, and we try to support it. Yet, if we see that it is not beneficial for our whole family, there are times we need to say no or wait. My immigrant parents did their best to raise our family of 6 children. They believed in sacrifice to make the best decision to benefit the entire family. Now, as adults, we look back and honor them. As an educator, it is my responsibility to impart knowledge to the students. I plan, I give real-world applications so what they're learning now will be useful in their future. As I have stated my roles of leadership, I know you are aware of yours. I know you take your role seriously as you have taken time to listen to all of us. In my roles, I sometimes forget to listen to others. Yet when I do take the time, they feel validated. Although sometimes decisions are made that they don't like at the moment, I have had my child or student tell me in hindsight that they appreciate the decisions made, even if it was not what they wanted to hear at that time. With SB1, I know there are those who want to pass it right away. Yet in your role of leadership, you're accountable to think about how your decisions today will affect all those involved and what would be the best for our whole ohana in the state of Hawaii. As Spider-Man's uncle told him, with great power comes great responsibility. Please take more time. Do not pass SB1.
Thank you. Next up, please come up.
My number is 4895. Honorable Chair and lawmakers, my name is Jeremiah Kabab. I'm 8 years old from Waiwa, and I'm a third grader at Kaala Elementary School. I missed school today so that I can ask you to kill the bill. SB1 is dangerous for kids. We kids would have a hard time in school. It's confusing. Let me be a kid and learn about bikes, cars, and other stuff. But as for same-sex, leave that out of the schools. Don't let that be a law that takes away my right to choose. Thank you for my future.
Thank you. Next up.
My name is Genesis Kabab, and my number is 4894. I am 10 years old from Waihua. I'm a fifth grader at Kaala Elementary School. I came Friday and Saturday to do my testimony, but it never happened. So now I can do it. I missed school today to ask you to not pass the SB1. I have a perfect attendance always, and I am on student council. I'm not supposed to miss class, but because of this bill, I would rather be here. I speak on behalf of my class, and they think this bill is weird. I believe that you can change this. You are our lawmakers and our role models. Please make your choices based on how valuable our lives are. Someday I will be like you, making laws that will bring peace. Please kill this bill. It is dangerous, and it will not protect the children of Hawaii. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
My number is 4897. My name is Michael Evangelista. I am 15 years old and a sophomore at Lelahua High School, Wahiwa. I am against SB1. This bill is crazy and dangerous. My future rests in your hands. Please reconsider for the sake of my generation. Let us grow up in peace and not divided. A land that is divided cannot stand. Kill this bill for the sake of peace, and don't let money sway your decision, where it will have a terrible effect on millions of lives. Please kill this bill and let the people decide. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Number 4896, Honorable Chair and Representative. My name is Jacinta Evangelista. I am 17 years old. I am from Wahiwa. I am a high school student. I am here today to testify against SB1. I strongly oppose this bill. I am asking you to please protect my generation by saying no to SB1. You are our lawmakers. Please make another bill. This SB1 does not protect my generation. This bill set up kids like me to rebel. If this bill passes, you will be set up a generation of lawbreakers instead of lawmakers. For the sake of my future, let the people decide. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
number 4905. Honorable Chairs and Representatives, my name is Ryan Billamon. I'm 15 years old and I'm from Wahiwa. I oppose the SB1 because as a youth, my generation will be in danger once this bill passes. So I'm here to take a stand for my generation. I believe that a marriage should stay between a man and a woman. And it is my belief as a Christian that a marriage should only stay between a man and a woman. I also don't want the keikis to learn those kinds of stuff at an early age. I hope this bill will be killed, and what we say as a youth will be something to remember. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Please come up.
My number is 4898. Honorable Chair and Representatives, my name is Jacinta Fanga, a mother of 5 children and a grandmother of 12 grandchildren. I strongly stand against SB1. I believe this bill comes against what I know is traditional. Marriage is between a man and a woman. This is the foundation of what our family is built on. I strongly believe in the truth, not redefining it. I don't believe that it takes a small group of people to decide the future of our children and our grandchildren. Let the people of Hawaii decide and define what marriage is. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Next, please come up.
I am number 4906. Aloha, Honorable Chairs and Representatives. My name is Renki Felici, and I just turned 15 today. I am from Wahiwa, and I'm against SB1. If this bill approves, my life as a youth growing up, it would be hard and rough. It will affect my future generation and my family. My rights as a citizen will be taken away from this bill. I don't like going every day to school learning about homosexual. It is not right at all. I want you chairs and representatives to please kill the bill. Let the people decide. I believe in traditional marriage. Thank you for your time. May God bless you. Mahalo.
Thank you. Next, please come up.
Number 4901. Honorable Chairs and Representatives, aloha. My name is Kaden Cueva, and I am Hawaiian Samoan, and I am 13 years old and a 7th grader at WMS. I strongly oppose to SB1 because I believe that my future is best left to the people of this community. I believe that my parents will be the best decision makers for my future. Please say no to SB1 and let the people decide. Thank you and mahalo.
Thank you. Next, please come up.
Aloha, Honorable Chairs and Representatives. My name is Isaiah Cueva. I'm from Waiwa, and my number is 4900. I strongly oppose to SB1 because marriage is not between a man and a man, nor a woman and a woman. Another reason why I'm against this is because if it hits our schools, it would be disturbing for us to learn homosexual lessons. My final reason I'm against this bill is if people marry their own sex, the population would decrease and the world would greatly come to an end. You guys have already enjoyed your life. Now let us enjoy ours. Mahalo.
Thank you. Next, please come up.
I am number 4903. To the Honorable Chairs and Representative. My name is Fa'alua Felici. I am 18 years old. I am from Wahiwa, and I am here to testify against same-sex marriage. I don't agree with this bill because I believe in a marriage should stay between a man and a woman, not a man or a man, or a woman and a woman. I don't want this bill to pass because it will affect my generation. Your yes to this same-sex marriage bill will exclude my constitutional rights, which is the freedom of religions and our right to vote. Please keep marriage traditional. Let the people decide. Give us the right to vote. Please say no to this same-sex marriage. Thank you for letting me speak. God bless you all. Have a good day. And remember, let the people decide and say no to same-sex marriage.
Thank you. Next, please come up.
Good afternoon, honorable chairs and representatives. Hi, my name is Malia Felici, and I'm a military spouse. I am a mother of 10 children.
Can you tell me?
8 of them are in
sorry. Can you tell me your number again? Sorry about that.
10 children.
Oh no, the number of your
my number.
registration. Yeah.
4902.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. And 8 of my children are in a public school. And I stand here testifying opposition of SBI. This is my children's future, and I believe that people should vote on this issue. Please allow the future of our children be given to the parents who are voters to decide. Put them on a ballot. Please think again before you make your decision. And my question for all of us who are in here today, were we born from a man and a man or a woman and a woman? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next.
I am number 4904. Honorable chairs and representatives, my name is Becca Lafaeli. I am 18 years old and I am from Waiawa. I am here to testify against SB1. Why? Because I know this is not appropriate for the young generation's education. It will also change what they believe in. I believe in traditional marriage. I am against this bill because it comes against my constitutional rights, the freedom of religion, and the freedom to vote. This is a democracy. Your yes to this bill will violate my rights. Please reconsider this bill and say no to SB1. I want to say thank you for your time and for this opportunity. And again, say no to SB1. Have a nice day and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please come up.
My number is 4853. My name is Li Han Chen. I'm a medical doctor from China originally. I strongly oppose this bill, SB1. Here are the facts. I just quickly threw the database of medical literature and found most of the recent studies by Johns Hopkins School of Public Health. They published in Sexually Transmitted Disease Journal in 2013, revealed that sex with male partners has significantly increased the risk of HIV and other sexually transmitted infections. The second is from New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. They published statistics results in the Journal of AIDS in 2011 showed that male who have sex with male have 114-fold increased risk of newly diagnosed HIV and syphilis compared to heterosexual men. In the New York City, this is a study that includes a total of 11,217 male. And the most current CDC recommendations for HIV for male have sex with male partners at least once annually HIV testing. However, the current recommendation for HIV testing for the general population is once in a lifetime. This bill, by endorsing same-sex marriage, it will have very significant adverse outcome for the health of our population and will also increase the cost significantly for health care. I again oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please come up.
Dear governors and legislators, my number is 4845. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak out my voice. My name is Xu Xiaoli. I came from China. I have been in Hawaii for 4 months. I strongly oppose this bill. First, here I want to thank my mom and dad. It was their union in marriage that gave me life. Marriage should be kept as a traditional union of one man and one woman to produce offspring. Second, although I have been in Hawaii for only 4 months, I like Hawaii very much. My husband and I have highly recommended Hawaii as a tourism place to so many friends and families in China. In most Chinese people's eyes, Hawaii is a dream place. But if this bill passes, Hawaii will no longer be a so-called paradise. I'm afraid this bill will affect their decisions of choosing Hawaii as their choice of place vacation. Dear Governor and legislators, your decision will not only affect the people's life in Hawaii, but also change how people view Hawaii in other countries. Again, I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you for your time, and thank you for saying no to this bill.
Thank you. Next up.
Aloha. My number is 4834. My name is Lani Kosi. I appreciate that I have this chance to speak out to strongly against same-sex marriage. I was born in China and immigrated from Japan. I'm a professional culture exchange expert between Hawaiian and Asian countries. According to the data from Hawaii Truth Authority annual report, in 2012, there are almost 400,000 people from Asian countries coming to Hawaii for honeymoon or get married. Their total spending is over $7 billion. According to the data from National Association of International Educators, between 2011 to 2012, just by foreign college students only, the net contribution to the state economy is over $1 billion. If Asian students is 40%, contribution by Asian students is 42 million. As a citizen, finally, I'm very concerned about if this bill is passed, what will affect our Hawaii economy. None of the Asian countries have same-sex marriage. Due to their traditional culture, eventually they will stop coming for school, stop coming for honeymoon, stop coming for visiting, stop coming to our beautiful Hawaii. Can our beautiful Hawaii survive without them, without truth?
Okay, thank you.
My number is 4835. My name is Zhang Anna Yujin. I need help my language.
Honorable Chair and Representative, I strongly oppose same-sex marriage. Same-sex marriage will destruct our social structure and social value. How can a same-sex couple generate their own blood-related child and generation? I support traditional marriage, which is based on only one male and one female. We cannot mix up the gender of a human being by passing same-sex marriage. The term of equality needs to be redefined. Equality must be based on traditional marriage, which is based on one male and one female. I sincerely urge you stop same-sex marriage, SB1 marriage, and let the people in Hawaii vote on this important issue. Again, I oppose same-sex marriage, SB1 bill. Thank you. May God bless our state of Hawaii.
Okay, thank you. Next.
My name is Donna Ann Agor. Number is 4947. I strongly oppose the Senate Bill 1 and strongly urge the House of Representatives to abolish SB 1. Why? This is another invasion from foreigners with evil designs to overthrow Hawaii. The title of the SB 1 Hawaii Marriage Equality Act 2013 is deceiving and a camouflage to destroy and oppress Hawaii people and its sanctity of eternal marriage between one man and one woman. The SB 1 is an abomination against eternal laws and unconstitutional. It was written by those with evil designs. Remember, the U.S. and Hawaii Constitution was written righteously under the inspiration of our eternal lawgiver, who is God, our eternal Father. The U.S. and Hawaii Constitution was founded on strong Christian religious values, oaths and covenants, and principles of eternal laws. God, our eternal Father, does not compromise with those with evil designs. Thus, the Senate bill has no moral fiber, has an evil design to destroy the souls of humanity and sanctity of marriage between one man and one woman. Therefore, SB 1 must be abolished. The Declaration of Independence was written in righteousness under God to protect the moral freedom from those with evil designs, tyranny, and secret combination. Thus, stated in Declaration of Independence, any form of government becoming destructive to these ends, and it is the rights of the people to alter and abolish and institute a new government. Thus, I am calling for the House of Representatives to look into the procedures for an impeachment for the Hawaii governor based on the Hawaii Constitution Article 3, Section 19, and the resignation of the Hawaii governor, Neil Abercrombie, and those who had voted in favor of these evil designs. SB 1 to overthrow Hawaii. To put an end to this mockery, the Senate bill must be abolished now. Thank you.
Next up, please come up.
Write this number down, 5860034. You can contact Governor Neil Abercrombie telling him how you do not appreciate this. My number is 4196. To the thousands of you upstairs in the rotunda, keep doing what you are doing. Supporting those of us who will speak on behalf of those who cannot.
Excuse me. Let me stop you.
Stop the clock, please. Thank you.
Hold on. His number is 4196.
Sorry. My number is 4916.
Okay, go ahead.
Neil Abercrombie's phone number is 5860034. To the thousands of you upstairs in the rotunda, keep doing what you are doing, supporting us who can only speak for those who cannot speak. To the thousands of you upstairs, keep fighting on. To the thousands of you who are watching online, who are watching on TV, we are the people. We are the ones who have voted these people in, and we can take away their seats. These are the people who are supposed to be representing us. Over the last few days, thousands of people have called, have emailed, have knocked on representatives' doors voting on this bill. Thousands more have sacrificed their time and their effort and their resources. Thousands more have spent money on this to be here. People have not been here, have not celebrated their birthdays or their anniversaries just so that they can represent their voice and speak their part in 2 minutes. Is there a problem? Special sessions are not to be held for these purposes. They are to be held when there is war or imminent threat, not same-sex marriage. The homosexual has the same right as the heterosexual, the opportunity to marry someone of the same sex, and they are not the only ones who are restricted to marriage. Men are not able to marry their daughters. Women are able to marry their nephews. They have the same rights as us. People who are under the age of 16 aren't allowed to marry either. They are not advocating for marriage equality and equal rights. They are advocating for special rights. Thousands have spoken no on this issue. We all get the feeling that this is just a technicality from all of these representatives. But I remind you, we will not forget HawaiiRemembers.com. HawaiiRemembers.com. We need to show them we are intolerant of any kama'aina who do not ascribe to the life that honors this fact.
Okay, thank you.
Next up.
Okay, wait, hold on just a sec. Mr. Kuroda, is this a group of 5,000s or the rest of it?
Between 46 and 5.
Okay, can we take the rest of the 5,000s as well? Everybody in the 5,000 block. Yeah, so until the 5182, that's the last one, right? So anyone with any 5,000 numbers, if they could check in. Thank you very much. Okay, please go ahead.
My name is Jimbo Chang. My number is 4979. I'm a voter and I oppose SB1 bill. Good afternoon, chairperson and representatives. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to testify. In the past few days, I have heard thousands of testimony, and it seems to me everyone has his own opinions, and most of the points cannot come across each other. For example, the Christians are based on the Bible's as the moral standards, and the supporters are based on their own standards or no standards at all. It seems to, just to give you an example, we cannot come into a common ground. You may not understand if I say, 你们都是一群混蛋. I just say that you are just a whole bunch of mixed eggs. But you cannot understand what I said before. I just want you to vote for no to this bill so they can give the community more time to discuss, to dialogue. One thing that I know is the God in the heaven is not pleased what's happening over here now. And this is offended him. And if we can stop and vote no to stop this bill, we might be able to delay the next tsunami or hurricane strike on this island. That's a prophecy. Okay. The reason that I marry, in my opinion, the marriage is between a sacred union between one man and one woman.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Xu Liang, and my number is 4974. Dear Honorable Chairs and members of House and Judiciary and Finance Committee, thank you very much for giving me the chance to voice out my opinion. I'm here to show my opposition to Bill SB1. Natural marriage, which means one man and one woman forms a family and has been there for thousands of years. Marriage produces and raises next generation of humanity, which every society needs. But raising children is much more than taking care of them and giving love to them. Mother and father have different responsibilities and are very important and have very important roles for their children. I know how crucial it is that mom and dad's role for the children from my own experience. I am the mother of 2 kids, a boy who is a college freshman and a girl who is now in elementary school. Like many typical teenager boys, my son went through up and downs in his high school years. There was a time I did not see any hope. My son fought with us every day, almost on every issue. Looking back, the acceptance, encouragement, counselors, and love from both mom and dad, not only from dad, not only from mom, are very critical for my son's turning back. Mom's love is warm and gentle, and dad's love is tough and powerful. A family with mother and father is a whole family for children. Now, same-sex marriage is about redefining marriage and forcing everyone to accept experimental families with 2 moms and 2 dads. I am strongly against S1B for our own society. Redefining marriage is very important and is very critical.
Thank you very much.
Issue.
Next,
Should
please.
not be rushed to pass for just
I'm sorry, next,
for
please.
6 days without consulting
Excuse me.
people's voice.
Next, please.
Hi, my name is William Saltz, but my friends and family call me Joey. My number is 4774. I believe that marriage is ordained of God to be between a man and a woman, not a man and a man or a woman and a woman. I know this because of my conscience and my religious beliefs. I am a Boy Scout, and our oath states that I should be morally straight, and I don't want to be taught about homosexuality in Scouts. One thing is, my sister wants to be a teacher, and I don't want her to be forced to teach same-sex marriage, and I don't want to be forced to learn same-sex marriage as well. Hawaii is the 50th state, so let's take 50 years before we consider same-sex marriage. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next, please.
Aloha. My name is Anson Rago, number 4826, born and raised in Hawaii. I've been an attorney in Waianae for over 40 years in general practice. Like Joey, the Boy Scout before me, age 12, this was his first time to testify. This is my first time to testify in prison. I oppose Senate Bill number 1 as drafted. I previously forwarded written testimony and legal reasons. Please ask me at the end if you have any questions about the religious exemption and the divorce provisions, and I will try to assist you. Both are defective and problematic. Question today, why has the Board of Education not testified? I looked through all the testimony. They're right down the street. People have come here from all over the islands. Where are they? Why haven't they given written testimony? Why hasn't the the Department of Education also not given written testimony or testified? Nearly 5,000 people that have testified here, and the thousands more that have given you concerns, are concerned about our public school curriculum, teachers, and children, like what is happening today in Massachusetts and other states in Canada. Where are our educational leaders? Did someone tell them not to come? Second, please do not go into secret conference committee with Chairman He and the Senate. We know how they treated us in that particular committee. Let the TV and radios come in to your conference. Finally, by approving this bill in any form, you will be deciding that people cannot decide to vote. Please allow the people to vote, because many of them, including some of the legislators, that allowed us to have this constitutional amendment thought that you had only the power to reserve the right, for people to marry.
Thank you very much. Next,
Thank you.
please.
Aloha. My name is Guy Ante, and my number is 4852. And I thank you all for staying here so long all these days. You are blessed for doing that. I am concerned. I'm against the same-sex marriage because I have a son, and I have over, I don't know how many kids from UH. I've been a volunteer coach football at UH for 26 years. And I'm so concerned about them because I never had to go through that. They didn't even teach me any kind of sex in school. And why they're starting to do it now, especially in gay sexual relationships, I don't understand it. But anyways, I'm opposed to it, and I thank you, and I seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these other things will be added on to me, and I declare and I believe that this bill will be defeated. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Next.
My name is Owen Tanoy. My number is 4889. I stand in strong opposition to Senate Bill 1 for the sake of my faith, my family, and our island's future. By now you have heard convincingly from a rich cross-section of our island ohana. The diversity of our peoples and cultures from Kupuna to Keiki have been well represented. Overwhelmingly, our voices have come together to echo the same basic appeal to you. Please allow us, the people, to make the call on SB1 with the proper time and setting to thoroughly discuss and deliberate the matter. There's nothing pono about this special session and the manufactured urgency and maneuvering that led to it. So how do we get ourselves out of this divisive mess? Regardless of whether you personally favor or oppose SB1, I urge you to cast your vote for all the people by voting against the passage of this bill during this special session. And though a majority vote would suffice, imagine what would happen if you could, within committees, come together and link arms as Democrats and Republicans, as those favoring and those opposing this bill, and unanimously reject this bill on the basis of the crippling limitations inherent in this session. You'd send a clear message to us, the people, that you did in fact hear our cry, and that you are committed to our rights as citizens to full and meaningful participation in our government. You'd also send a welcome shockwave through a cynical nation that at least in Hawaii, the State House refuses to compromise the rights of all its people for the benefit of any one issue, political plank, or special interest group. Such unity requires great courage and integrity on your part. But a watching world needs to be reassured that we in Hawaii and America do in fact uphold a democracy that is of the people, by the people, and for the people, as opposed to one that is of the few, by the few, and for the few. Aloha ke akua ia oe. God's love to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next, please.
My name is Minghui Berg. My number is 4909. Thank you for all the senators, the patient, to listen our voice. I'm a pastor wife. I oppose SB1 because as Christian, we support traditional marriage between a man and a woman. Family is the foundation of a country. Of course, we love all people and have no ill feeling toward homosexuals. Everyone may own decision, but law shall help and protect the people and the concern for next generation. Law is a system of rules and the guidelines which are enforced through social institutions to govern behavior. I fear that if SB1 passes, GLBT curriculum will be promoted in our public school or community, even in church. The issue of a same-sex marriage should be decided by the people after much more research and debate, not rushed through in special session. Mahalo. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Dear representatives, I am Sujan Situ and my number is 4971. I am a taxpayer and a registered voter living on East Oahu. Thank you all very much for listening. First of all, I'd like to share a request from my 12-year-old daughter. SB1 has been our dinner table topic in the last couple of days. This is what she told me last Saturday night. She said, "Mom, please ask the representatives to vote no to SB1 because you need to think for the children. There are 3 reasons. If this bill passes, 1, it's sad for the children in the same-sex marriage family because they may never be able to know completely who they are. They will never know who their real mom and dad is. For someone who are emotional, this can even make them feel very depressed, and they may even commit suicide. It's dangerous. Number 2, it's sad for the little ones, especially those kindergarteners. They love their teachers and listen to them very much. They like to copy them, but they don't know much about right and wrong. They may become gay and lesbian if the teacher said that's right. It's sad and not fair. And it's sad for the teachers also because this makes their job very hard. They cannot lie, but they don't want to say anything they think is not right. We may have no good teachers then. I am very proud of my daughter. Now I want to speak for myself. Born and raised in China, I know Chinese are very traditional and conservative. Offspring is critical that we have a saying. There are 3 ways to be unfilial. The worst is not produce offspring. And there are a lot more similar sayings. It's very unlikely Chinese can take same-sex relationship, not even mention same-sex marriage. We had heard a lot in this room about how the hurt may bring to this state if caused by the passing this bill caused by the reduce of tourists and students. I'm not an expert in it, but I have a report here shows.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Thank you.
My name is Kenvy Daniel Parker, and my number is 4823. Dear Chairman Rhodes, Chair Luke, and members of both the House Committee or Judiciary and Finance, I thank you first for allowing me this opportunity to speak before you. I'm asking you to allow the people to decide on the issue of marriage, as I believe the legislature is going against the will of the people. This bill, I strongly believe, is also going against the values and the morals of this state that was founded and rooted in Christianity. I support equality for all. I was raised to love everyone no matter their choices in life, and this I choose, I believe, should be kept private between the 2 individuals involved and their God. I believe that the Bible clearly explains marriage as God intended it to be between 1 man and 1 woman. As a concerned voter, I feel my rights of having a free religion are being stripped away, along with my rights to voice my opinion. I ask you to respect my rights and concerns as being an elected leader. Same-sex marriage should not be passed in a special session. It should be voted on by the people. My question to you is, why is it being rushed? What's the hurry? Why are we being set aside and pushed aside as if though our opinion doesn't matter? I believe that we should be able to vote just like we voted for you to be in office, just like we voted for the president, just like we vote for anything else in this country. The United States is supposed to be a free country. Let us vote. Let the people voice their opinion and see where we stand in. 1998, they said no. Why is it coming up again? I believe that if you let the people vote, you will find out that this state of Hawaii does not want same-sex marriage. I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Dear Honorable Chairs, Rhodes and Luke, and members of the House Judiciary and Finance Committee, my name is Sarah Yuan. My number I got is 4922. I am a sociologist and a wife, a mother of 2 teen girls, and a Hawaii Kai's resident. I'm here to voice my opposition to Bill SB1. I'm very concerned about this bill, not only because it is against my religious belief on family and marriage, but I'm also deeply concerned because this bill has put Hawaii's citizens against each other. It divides our people without much necessary. There is a democratic process that we could decide on marriage and same-sex marriage. But if the legislators decide to make a decision with these special sessions on the bill, I think it will have great cost to the society as a whole. As we all know, Hawaii is a place where people respect each other and embrace each other's differences. The opposition voice that you hear these many days are really major concerns about this bill and how it could hurt a group of people, a large group of people who hold their religions seriously. And also, the cost to our children. Many studies have shown, or you have heard, that there is no differences. But I can tell you, with my specialties, I can answer more questions about the sampling and the results of those studies. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Jason K. Higa, a molecular biologist born and raised in Oahu, and I'm number 4927. I'm speaking in support of SB1 because I firmly believe in everybody's right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I also believe what Jesus said, to love your neighbor as yourself. Many of my fellow Christians here have said, I love my gay family and friends, but, and use that to qualify why they think their friends' rights and values are immoral and inferior to their own. It's just like when people say, I don't mean to be racist, but, or I can't be racist, I have a black friend. Statements like that are thin veils to justify and excuse bigoted remarks. There's also misconception that marriage is exclusive to us Christians. Buddhists, atheists, and people without religion can still marry with full legal rights. Therefore, marriage in our nation is independent of a Christian God. People are claiming that our First Amendment rights will be violated. However, these people are failing to look beyond their own religion and recognize the diversity of beliefs we have in Hawaii and realize that other people have a right not to be subject to religious dogma of others. Other Kanaka have invoked Umauke'ea Oka'aina Ikapono. The life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness. People are also wondering what will happen to our children. Parents, your children will encounter things that conflict with your beliefs. If your beliefs are indeed righteous and pono, then they will perpetuate your values and keep them. However, if your values are based on fear, ignorance, and prejudice, then they will not hold as your children experience life. If you strongly believe in your own values, why do you fear all of them will come undone due to the happiness in other people's lives? Studies regarding same-sex parenting finding that the primary factors affecting a child's well-being is not their parent's sexuality, but family cohesion, parental time, and security. Aren't those all family values that we can agree on? Believe it or not, same-sex couples seem to have a lot more values in common with the rest of us. So the opposition is saying, let the people decide. I say to you, let the people decide on their own marriage, not yours, not mine, not anybody else's. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next up.
My name is Zhitong Chen. My name is 4973. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to stand here to oppose SB1. I'm from China. I'm the PhD student in the University of Hawaii and Manoa. In my family, there are 4 people: my father, my mother, my sister, and me. They have different roles for my father and mother, whose role cannot be replaced by each other. My father is more fun and strong, while my mother is more serious and soft. Parents are the children's first and important lifetime teachers and role models. Raising up us is not just about providing us the food and finally supporting us, but also setting up an example for us how to be responsible and accountable husband and wife. I believe everyone's noticed that nowadays so many Chinese people come to Hawaii for tour and for school. They go shopping and buy a lot of stuff at the Waikiki outlets and Alamana Center, etc. So many Chinese parents send their children to come Hawaii to study in the private middle school and university, but none of the Asian countries have the same-sex marriages. If this SB1 passed, it stops them to come to Hawaii because they will feel uncomfortable and weird. Parents will not send their children to study in the Hawaii. That will be the big loss. So I'm strongly against SB1 for our society. This critically important issue that cannot be rushed to pass for just 6 days. Let the bill go the regular season. At least let the people to vote. Thank you for your hard work for the people of Hawaii.
Thank you very much. Before the next testifier, we're going to take a short recess.